5. How are we, lads?
ProEnzo, Vidz, CJ MOXLEY. Alright, we're just walking in now for the Dragons and the Bulldogs come back. The atmosphere, the crowd is electric!
YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Welcome to the Rugby League Breakdown Podcast, episode 76 for your March 1st, 2023. And as we speak, they can seriously go away for now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by a massive special guest. For the first time on the Nick from Australia YouTube channel, we are joined by Ados the Great. Ados the Great, thank you very much for coming on the podcast tonight.
Yeah, mate. No, I'm happy to be here. Look, I think you guys humble me saying how big I am. I ain't that big, boys, and I'm glad to be here. So thank you for having me.
No worries. It's an honour to have you on the channel, bro. We all enjoy your rugby league content on YouTube and on TikTok. So thank you for taking the time to join us here tonight. It's going to be a great show. We've got plenty of things to talk about. And we're also joined by the regular co-host, ProEnzo Vidz and CJ MOXLEY. ProEnzo, how are you, bro?
Better than good, that's for sure, because the footy starts tomorrow and there's no better way to get hyped with this podcast tonight.
And we're also joined by CJ MOXLEY up there in the Rabbitohs gear. How are you, bro?
Of course. Yeah, doing good, man. Footy season eve. Nothing can beat it, bro. Season starts tomorrow night, so we're all looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to the podcast tonight.
Yeah, so we're technically about 25 hours away from kickoff. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Obviously, we'll do a bit of a round one preview at the end of the show. Should be fantastic. But before we get into tonight's show, I want to say hello to the live chat. We're starting to get a bit of a crowd building up here. It's going to be a good show. We've got about 18 people at the moment. We've got Josh Rabbitohs 2023. We got Cody Games PlayStation here. Rishi, all the way from the UK. Shout out to the UK followers. I think it's like 9 a.m. over there, so shout out to them. SS Storm fan, Damien from Newcastle, Jason Reeder, Tim Jones, everyone rolling in. Looking like a pretty good crowd here tonight, so it's going to be great. The footy season's back. We're ready to go. The podcast is back on a week-to-week basis. I'm pumped, boys. I'm absolutely pumped. Hello, Samson 6000 edits as well. All right, boys. We're just going to get straight into the podcast. Obviously, like and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel of CJ MOXLEY, ProEnzo Vidz, and Ados the Great, you might as well, because why not? If you haven't subscribed to them, well, unfortunately for you, something bad might happen. You know, you might go to work tomorrow and fall over at work. You might go to school, trip over a skateboard and face plant or something. Something might happen. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. All right, let's get into it. Topic number 5. We're going to start off with a bang. And some big news about this. Should the Roosters be allowed compensation for Angus Crichton due to mental health issues? Now, this is extremely touchy. We've got to be very careful with what we say on this. We don't want to upset the whole community. Obviously, mental health is a very important thing nowadays, and you've got to take it serious when someone goes through with it. But should the Roosters be allowed compensation for Angus Crichton? Ados the Great, we're going to start with you with this one, bro. Should the Roosters be allowed salary cap money for this? What's your take on this whole thing?
Oh, mate, it is tough. It's a touchy subject, as you said, you know, bringing in like mental health and stuff like that. As a Rabbitohs fan, no way. I don't want any of it. Nah, Angus Crichton, you can stay out. I don't care. But honestly, as a person and a rugby league fan, I think they should. Look, if it was one of our boys, I'd want compensation. So I do think that they should get some sort of compensation. I honestly do think that. Obviously, I hate the Roosters with a passion, all my guts. I can't stand the bloody dickheads. But at the end of the day, I do think that they should get compensation. That's my opinion anyway.
Yeah. Now, well said, ProEnzo. Do you agree or disagree? Should the Roosters be allowed compensation for Big Angus Crichton?
Yeah, I had a bit of a think about this one actually, because it is touchy, like you said, but I think they should, because obviously he's a member of their top 30. He's a high-profile player, and obviously, losing someone like that for who knows how many weeks. I think 6 weeks, wasn't it? So I think they have a right to seek some sort of replacement and compensation. So yeah, I believe it's a fair enough choice if they do go that way. So I'm all for it.
CJ, I think we all know what you're going to say.
Yeah, well, look, obviously, I hope he's okay as a person. Mental health's obviously a serious thing. However, compensation, I don't think you should. That's what club depth's there for. Your depth. If a player's out, you replace them with depth. I don't think a club should get any sort of compensation unless it's like they're heavily depleted. They can't field a full like just major injuries. I don't think mental health's a reason for players to get compensation, because he's going to be back, obviously. And like I touched on earlier, that's what depth is there for. So, yeah, man, I hope he's okay, but I don't think the Roosters should get compensation for it, because he'll be back.
I've got a couple of controversial things to say about this. So, obviously, I hope Angus Crichton's okay. I hope he gets the help that he deserves, and I hope he gets well soon. It's a terrible situation to be in. I don't blame the Roosters for going to the NRL and asking about it, because there's no rule in place where they can't ask the question. Should it be allowed? I'm going to say no, because if every player gets injured, or if every player has a episode related to mental health, related to family issues, related to stress, then every club's going to go to the NRL and ask for compensation. So, it's one of those things where the NRL could do it, but if they do it, I think they'll be going down a pretty touchy path, because then every player that has an episode, they're going to go to the NRL and say, oh, hey, we need compensation for this. Can you make it happen? I don't think it should be allowed. I think it's a really big risk. If they do it, if the NRL do this and agree to it, then the Panthers are going to do it with the injury of Taylor May out for the season. They'll do it with Luke Thompson. Will do it. The Bulldogs will do it for Luke Thompson, who's now out for half the year. The Cowboys would claim it for 4 weeks for Lukey. It's just, I know you can't really compare mental health injuries to players' actual injuries, but NRL clubs will take advantage of the system, and they will try and take it down that path. So, me personally, the Roosters have got a top 30. They've got plenty of young forwards coming through. They'll be fine. They're just going to have to suck it up. They're going to have to go with someone else for the time being. I don't think you can't take the risk. You can't do it. What were we going to say, CJ?
I was just going to say, again, like I said before, that's what depth is for. Use your depth.
Well, they've got the Butcher brothers. They've got Tupanui coming back in May. There's 3 back rowers there. They've got Radley who can play back row as well. They don't really I know they want money for it, but when Angus Crichton comes back, what happens to the player that comes in for him? Do they just
piss him off? That's what they'll piss him off.
Well, it's pointless.
Well, yeah, I don't
anything else you guys want to touch on this?
Well, I mean, that's probably where they should make a rule if that player's having a time off and they want compensation for that, whatever club it is. It should be a rule where, you only have to bring in a certain player, maybe not a recruitment. So I don't know if they can work their way around that, but I'm just saying if that's some sort of solution, if that helps at all.
Yeah. Anything else, Ados?
No, look, I do agree with what you said. If another team had a player go down with injury and they wanted to go down the same path, then how can the NRL stop them if they're doing it for one team but not another? Exactly. However, I do think with mental health, if a player is out for a longer period of time, so if the doctor had said, look, he can't play for the rest of the season, then I'm absolutely for the Roosters going after, compensation for it. But if it's only half the season or 6 weeks, then I agree. I don't think they should get compensation. But if it's going to cause, an issue long term, then I do agree, especially when you're paying a big contract out like Angus's. I think there should be some sort of compensation for it, although the Roosters like to use those brown paper bags and pay under the bloody...
Yeah, typical.
That's a story for another day.
And look, I'm not gonna go into the personal stuff because I've heard a lot of rumors about what Angus Crichton actually did to get in this situation. I think there's a lot of fake news about it, so I'm not going to get into it. It could all be bullshit, so I don't really want to talk about that. But
wait till it's confirmed or something.
There are a lot of fake news reports about that whole thing. So we'll leave it at that. It's a very touchy subject, and if he's out till mid-year, definitely shouldn't be getting money for it. But if Crichton's out for the entire season and he ends up retiring or leaving the game for a year, then yes, the Roosters should get money for it for sure.
Well, use your depth.
So, yeah, all right, CJ. We know how you feel. We understand.
Oh, wait, they don't develop players. That's right. Let's move.
All right, let's move on from the Angus Crichton stuff and let's go to the next topic, topic number 4. Did the NRL need to make any rule changes for season 2023? I know they've already tweaked a couple ones at the ruck and at the scrum where if you're deliberately offside, it's going to be a penalty instead of a 6 again, and you can take the 2 points in those penalties now. Ados, should they make some rule changes? Should they fix some rules? What's your take on this whole thing? Should they make some different changes, bro? Because there still seems to be a few rules going around in the NRL that fans don't like.
Yeah, look, I'm pretty happy with where rugby league is as a whole with rules and stuff like that. I do think that there's some rules that need to be tweaked. I think they need to do something in regards to ruling on forward passes because so many games come down to that one pass that cost a team a game. So I think that's something that they probably need to look at, and I would like the bunker to have less of a say of things. I think they're looking at that this year. But that's pretty much it for me. I'm pretty happy with how the rules are set out. I just think the forward passes is a pretty big one. And fans, for the NRL to say, you can't rule on forward passes, fans have been asking for it for years. With the technology they've got now, there's surely something they can do. So that's my take on it.
Forward passes, yes. Mitchell Moses in the prelim final, yes.
NFL,
100%. 100%. I'm still have not gotten over that, and I probably won't for a while. That broke me.
No.
What about you, CJ? Should they make some rule changes, or should they fix some rules up? What do you reckon?
I swear some of us boys have said something like this nearly every year, and I'm still on it. The obstruction rule. Like you said, yeah, let's get into it, eh? The obstruction rule, I think it just needs fixing. It's so complex. It's so complicated. They need to just write down simple rules. What is an obstruction? What sort of play causes an obstruction? Stuff like that. I'd like to see it just simplified and fixed, and it should be simple fix, but not in the NRL. They have to make it.
CJ, if you go into obstruction, you're gonna make me yell. You're gonna make me go off about it because I'm telling you, I've been talking about obstructions for God knows how long. The inside shoulder rule, the advantage play.
I was going to get into that, but lay back
decoy
off it
runner.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll just keep it short and simple because I know it could spark a big 10-minute debate about it. So I'm going to lay off it for now. And yeah, just fix the obstruction rule. Simplise it, please.
Oh, man, it needs more than fix it. It needs to be fucking sacrificed at this point. I'm telling you. ProEnzo, what rule needs to be fixed up or changed for this season?
Well, let's be real. I think most of it needs to stay the way the game is. Like, I think it's best we don't touch the rules or change anything. Coming into this year helps everyone else here, I think. But if there's one rule I want gone, and I hope that does change. I think the 2-point field goal is useless. Adds nothing. All it does is, it's another point. Like, it's just another point. I think that how it's traditionally been, a 1-point field goal is the way to go. I just think the 2-point field goal doesn't have much sense in it. That's how it feels like to me, because you can get 2 points from getting a penalty goal as well. So what's the field goal going to do with 2 points? I don't know. I just think that's one that needs to go.
I'll tell you a rule that needs to change. a rule that needs to be implanted to the NRL. There needs to be a small little corner post on the 20-metre line. That way we know when a 40-20 is actually being kicked. How many times does a 40-20 get kicked in the NRL nowadays? And the touch judge is not 100% sure. The bunker is still undecided, and the referee's not sure. And they have to go to the bunker just to make sure it's a 40-20. That happens so much.
Charity Shield.
So much.
Ben Hunt.
There was a tiny little corner post. Doesn't have to be like the ones that you score tries in the corner. Just some little corner post to show and to prove that a 40-20 has been kicked. How many times do we go to the bunker? Because when a team kicks a 40-20, they get the quick tap and they got all the momentum in the world. But if they're not sure, it just kills their momentum. It just absolutely kills it. It really does. The other thing that I want to see get fixed up as well is players lying down
Milking
when they're not actually injured. I am sick to death of that. I'm telling you right now. Someone gets hit, in the shoulder. They milk a penalty for it. They get up. There's no HIA for them to play on. It's rubbish. That is rubbish. And the final one that I want fixed, the bunker. When the bunker gets involved, it's only to be in try-scoring situations. That's it. The captain's challenge should only be used in that as well. You get a captain's challenge and the bunker goes back and they find something else and they change the captain's challenge rule. Let me say this. If you're on the attack, you put a grubber kick, you're looking for a repeat set. If it's a close contact, if it's close contact between the center and the fullback or the winger, and the referee calls a goal line dropout, but then the bunker comes in and says, no, it's a 20-metre restart. That should not be allowed, because why is the captain's challenge a thing? If, the captain's challenge, that should be for captain's challenges only. The bunker shouldn't be coming in like that, making that decision. Let the referee have some momentum and have some flow for the contest, because these sort of things, kick cross field, I was touched by him, oh no, I was off him. Well, why not challenge it to be sure? Seriously. The bunker getting involved all the time and overturning it's just crazy. It's crazy in my opinion. So they're the three things I'd love to see get fixed up. Love to see.
I think that's fair, bro. Especially the 40-20 one is one that I'd like to see implemented into the game.
A little corner post, just a tiny little post on the 20-metre line on the corner. It's not going to get in the way of anybody. I don't see why they don't do it.
Yeah, that's what should do. I agree on that one.
Well, Ados, mate, you're talking about forward passes before. Forward pass technology. Would you like to see that be trialed out in a game or something?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's I understand that they go. Sometimes when they pass the ball, it comes out of their hand backwards and then goes forward. So if they can't rule on that, surely there's some sort of technology they can bring in to help assist those sort of calls. Because look at the technology that cricket's got. You can't tell me that the NRL can't use that sort of stuff to assist with forward passes and stuff. I just think that it's 2023 now. Surely there's technology out there that can assist with it.
Yeah. Now, before we move on to topic number 3, I'm just reading the live chat at the moment, and there seems to be a bit of an argument going on in the live chat about people hating Melbourne. Let me just say this for a moment. If you disagree with someone in the live chat, that is more than fine, but the arguing crap needs to stop. Why does everyone hate Melbourne? Oh, I wonder why, because I cheated the cap 10 years ago. But that's irrelevant to the whole thing. Just if you're going to argue in the live chat, take it somewhere else. Enjoy the podcast. Interact with the live chat. Talk about the game. Talk about what we're talking about. And be better, everyone, in the live chat.
Yeah, cool.
All right, let's move on. Topic number 3. My God. I have never seen anything like this, guys. How do you fix the mess at the Dragons? I'm not kidding when I say this. I've never seen a team have a worse off-season than the Dragons. This might be the worst off-season from any NRL club I've seen in maybe 10 years. It's been a long time. Ados the Great, what the fuck? How do you fix this Dragons? They are a mess, a big mess.
Mate, I've got no idea. I think it's got to start with the upper management, to be honest. Like, I get the whole push to get rid of the coach, but like, they had McGregor before they got Griffin, and it was just as bad. I think they need to start with the upper management, start a clear out there, get a new coach. I reckon just rebuild the team, rebuild around Ben Hunt, get a bunch of youth. Yeah, the Dragons have some of the best juniors coming through in the comp.
They do.
It's, especially in the forward pack. So why the hell are they signing players like Jaden Sewer and freaking Zane Musgrove? Like, they've got so many good, young, talented players coming through. I don't understand why they're not developing them. They're going to go to other clubs. They're not going to stay if they're not going to get given an opportunity. And it drives me nuts to see that they've got such good talent, but they're not utilising them. If I was a Dragons fan, I wouldn't care if they win a season with 3 wins, as long as all of those kids are in the team learning and developing and playing with Ben Hunt. Like, I think that's the best thing that they can do. That's my opinion, and I think that's the only way that they're going to see improvement is if they develop some of their young players and move forward that way. So what do you guys reckon?
Before we get to ProEnzo and CJ, I just want to say shout out in the live chat to Zenpai. He just put a $5.99 super chat without a message. So, Zenpai, you might want to fix that, bro, but thank you for the $6. And I also just want to mention quickly that if you guys in the live chat want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so. You've got super chat, which is active in the live chat, and there's also Pay ID available via email. So I would probably prefer Pay ID because Super Chat has been quite dodgy the last couple of months because of, I guess, the lack of content. But thank you very much for the $6. And if anyone donates to the channel, feel free to do so. I would probably prefer Pay ID via the email in the description. But thank you very much, Zenpai, for that. ProEnzo, I know you've been very critical of the Dragons in the off-season, and I know CJ has as well. ProEnzo, how on earth do you fix this Dragon side, bro?
Yeah, look, I don't know where you start, really. It's that hard to tell, and the state the club's in, it's really hard to actually start like from where they should be fixing first. But I think if anything, the pressure's on Griffin for sure, and I think I think with all the talk about how players left and how they've been treated by Griffin, like some players have already left and they've already had a bad rap on him. And obviously some of the rookies don't feel motivated under Griffin as well. Like, I think he manages the rookies and the juniors not properly. And I think that there creates a bit of a toxic culture and sort of divides the players a little as well as uncertainty. So I don't think Griffin provides a pathway to success. He's not really the answer going forward. I do think it's best if Dragons do depart with him soon. I can't see him lasting more than I can't see him lasting past Magic Round. I'll just say that. I think he'll be either sacked before that, or he'll be sacked during the weekend of it, because I think he's the one that needs to go first if they want to start fixing things. But I don't know. I mean, the management's not always that bad, I don't think, but they probably need a new recruitment manager, as their recruitment's recently been shocking. Like, you're signing Jacob Little, Zane Musgrove has already caused trouble at the club, and you've signed someone like Paul Turner, who may not even get a game at this point. So I don't know what the drive is to make these sort of signings, but they're going nowhere, I think. And they're designed for failure this year, in my opinion. It might take a while for them to build up.
Oh, poor old Dragons! They just can't catch a break, can they? Well said, Lorenzo. Yeah. CJ, what's your take on the Red V?
First off, I haven't been so certain on a team getting the spoon in a while. I think they're just about locked in. Wow. They've already dusted before the actual season's begun. First off, the obvious, to remove Anthony Griffin. I don't think he's not ready for this sort of coaching things anymore. And I'd replace him with someone who actually loves the club and wants to invest into the club. And I'm talking someone like a Ben Hornby or a Dean Young. And touching on Ados said, I bring up their youth because you want someone who's been around a club, someone who actually knows what the club's about, wants to succeed with the club. Because all the players just look effortless and lazy. They're already getting into fights. So what I do is, at the end of this year, I clear the dead weight out. I'd bring in the youngsters, I'd bring up the juniors, and I'd get rid of Anthony Griffin, replace him with Dean Young or Ben Hornby. I don't know why they're making signings that they don't really need. But, yeah, look, they look very unappetizing as a club than what they were like 10, 15 years ago. It's pretty shocking to see, but I can't even give you a direct answer because they're that deep into a hole where it's like, I don't even know how to fix it. Like, they're in the mud.
I'll tell you this. I'm just having a look at their roster right in front of me at the moment. Yes, they are probably going to be in the bottom 4 this year. I'd be very surprised if they were outside the bottom 4. It'd be pretty impressive if they were. Having a look at their team, and yes, they do have some really good young kids coming through, the likes of Jaden Sullivan, the likes of Tyrell Sloan, the Feagai brothers. They've got some terrific young kids coming through. I don't think their biggest problem is the playing roster. I think the Dragons' biggest issue is the off-field stuff. The Zane Musgrove incident with Ravaloa after the Charity Shield, the Amone stuff.
Poor culture.
I think it's more. Yeah, it's the culture. I think that's what the problem is. The culture, the off-field stuff. That's the main issue. Anthony Griffin has to take the full blame on that. He's the coach. He's the one that brings the environment. I don't want to see anyone lose their job, but I think Anthony Griffin's going to be the first coach sacked. I think he'll be gone before Magic Round. I'm pretty confident in saying that. If there's a market on that, I'll be putting money on that for sure. I don't think the playing roster's as bad as we all think. I think they obviously need a fullback. So I'd be throwing him $1 million at Roger Tuivasa-Sheck.
Well, that's where they have to put faith in Sloan. Anthony Griffin has...
They won't. Sloan's...
He doesn't have faith in his own
Sloan.
players.
It's all irrelevant. Sloan's not going nowhere. He's not getting the fullback spot because Cody Ramsey's not there. So I think, look, CJ, like you said, get rid of the dead weight. Aaron Wood's gone. Francis Mollo gone. Tatai Moga, Mo Zembai gone. Get rid of them. Throw $1 million. Doesn't make the walk from the RTS is talking about coming back to the NRL. $1 million bucks, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. I think that back line is fine, boys. I think they've got the good kids there. Sully, Lomax, Feagai boys. The back line's fine. Let's be honest. It's not bad. Sullivan, Hunt, halves, fine. They need to get another prop. And they need a better hooker and they need a fullback. It's obvious. They need to get some better players. But the roster isn't as bad as we all think. I really believe that. Jack DeBella and Jaden Sewer, Jack Bird, they're all quality players in their own right in the middle. They will do a job. But I think it's more the off-field stuff for the Dragons. And if you're looking for a coach, you want to know who I reckon will be perfect for him? Give him 2 years to get him going. Go sign John Morris. When John Morris was coaching at Cronulla, he led Cronulla to 2 final series. He did not miss a final series in his 2 years at the Sharks. Give him 2 years at the Dragons, he could rebuild this club into a top 8 side. So it'll take time, but I don't think the roster's as bad as we think. They just have a lot of dead weight at the moment.
Yeah, look, I don't really like their roster, but I think it's going to be a sort of year where it's obvious that Ben Hunt is going to be the standout player every single time. And that's an issue.
Well, he's only one that gives an effort, so...
You can't tell me on air right now that this Dragons backline from 1 through to 7 is a bottom 4 backline. It's better than that. We know this.
It should be better than that, but it's not going to be, unfortunately, for them.
I don't know. I think everything else about them screams bottom 4, but it isn't as bad as we think. I don't reckon it is anyway. Yeah, seriously, John Morris should be the next coach of the Dragons, I reckon.
Well, he's on contract here to the end of 2024, but we'll see.
Oh, mate, contracts are as worthless as toilet
We'll
paper
see.
at this rate. That's
I reckon
brutal.
they should go for a Dragon.
Don't
Like
mean a
Dean
damn
Young or
thing.
Ben Hornby.
Ados the Great, if Griffin does get the axe, who would you appoint as the Dragons' next head coach?
I reckon give Des Hasler a go.
Oh, Desi!
Yeah, all right.
One more shot.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay,
maybe,
come on,
Proenzo's not happy.
Maybe I don't know. Like I agree. Maybe they need to go to like an ex-Dragon. Like even I don't know what he'd be like coaching, but maybe an assistant coach or something. Jamie Soward.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Good call. What about you, Proenzo? Who should be the Dragons' next coach?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit not that left field actually. I was going to say it was, but not really, as he's from the area. I think Jason Rolls deserves a fair go. I think he should be someone that's considered as a head coach. I think he's already done great as an assistant at Melbourne Roosters, and yeah, I think he can handle a head coaching role.
Yeah, good call. All right, let's move on, fellas. 2. This is a big loss. This is a massive loss for the Bulldogs, man. Topic number 2. Luke Thompson could miss the year due to injury. Can the Dogs recover? Now, there were rumours that Luke Thompson was going to miss the entire season. It's been reported today that he might only miss 12 to 14 weeks. He is their star prop. He come over from the UK to test himself in the NRL. Obviously, when he came over, it was a bit of a slow start, obviously. But when he came to the Bulldogs, when he first started, the Bulldogs were right down the bottom, pretty miserable. They are improving. Luke Thompson has definitely improved since he came over. We'll start with you first, ProEnzo Vidz. If he is out for the whole year, can the Bulldogs recover from this? Because he's a very important part of their team.
Well, I think with the Bulldogs, they have a lot of forward depth, but it's not particularly front rowers. I think they're really stacked in the back rowers only. So I think losing Thompson for a long period of time will definitely hurt them because, it does test their depth. And obviously, Pangai Jr. this weekend, so they had to apply for exemption to bring a New South Wales Cup player in. So, I think losing Thompson hurts a lot because he I think for me anyway, he's starting to become a leader of that forward pack, and I think losing him is going to just, lose a bit of grunt, I think. So, look, Max King's good, and I think Ryan Sun's a great addition, but I think Thompson needs to be there. They're going to be a bit dangerous, so it's a big loss for sure.
Yeah, before we get to Ados, I'm just going to read the live chat. We've got a $5 super chat once again. SS Storm fan, sorry, bro. I don't have a clue what you're sorry about, but I'm sorry that you're a Melbourne Storm supporter, but thank you for the $5, bro. I really appreciate that. Okay, well, I don't know what apology accepted, but I don't understand what you're apologising for. All good, I guess. Ados the Great. Luke Thompson, can the Dogs recover without him, bro? He's out for about 3 months, they reckon. Big loss.
Oh, I tell you what, I had the Doggies in my top 8, but now I don't know because this is huge. Like, I know a lot of people like to joke and say he's not that good of a player, but I think they're dickheads because I think he's fantastic, and I think he's exactly the type of front rower that the Bulldogs need. He's got that grunt sort of mentality. He's a tough player, and that's what the Bulldogs used to be. Kind of reminds me of like a Mark O'Mealy sort of
Dogs of war, eh?
Yeah, sort of player. So it really does. I think it really will hurt the Dogs. I've been massive on Franklin Pele and Jacob Preston coming through. So I think Presto is a second rower though, and Pele I believe is a front rower. So I reckon those two young fellas will, that'll help them out a little bit having those two because I am really big on those two players. I think Pele could be one to get up there around the Rookie of the Year sort of conversation. I honestly think he's going to have a massive season. But look, I think even with those young players, I think this might dent the Bulldogs' finals chances, to be honest.
I've also got the Bulldogs in my top 8. I've got them 7th, but I am very concerned with Thompson being ruled out. I hope Ryan Sutton ends up being a good sign-off for him because they're going to need him to be a lot better now than what he was probably expected to be. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go without Thompson. CJ, what's your take on this?
Yeah,
12 weeks, bro. That's a long time.
yeah, I think you'll see it in round 1, but they're going to start missing him. He's such a good player for him. He brings that like sort of dogs of war mentality, aggressive, tough runner, great player. Luke Thompson is a bigger loss than I think some people are actually anticipating. They lose a lot in that pack. I don't know. I think they'll be fine because the players they're bringing up, I think it's going to give them a good chance. But you're going to tell this weekend that they're going to miss him, and it's just. I think, look, it's a big loss, but I don't know if it's going to hurt their ladder chances. I'll say that.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see. But I tell you what, I have been following Luke Thompson's career for a long time. I obviously watched the Super League. I was lucky enough to meet him last year at Belmore when I went down to the Bulldogs-Dragons game, and CJ and Lorenzo were there. And I think you were, CJ, I think you were with me when I met Luke Thompson. And
good bloke.
he was surprised about our knowledge of the Super League because, well, it's not easy to get up and watch it because of how early the goddamn games kick off and how late they kick off. But probably one of the nicest players I ever met. So for him to go down with an injury like this, I think it's a huge blow for Canterbury. Franklin Pele, there's a lot of hype around him. I think he now has his chance to shine. Pango Jr. will be coming back. So, look, they should be okay, but bugger me, I'll tell you what, they are going to miss him big time. They definitely can recover, but they don't have the best start of the year, the Dogs. They got Manly in Melbourne, at Brookie, and in Melbourne. So, fairly tough start for the Dogs, but then they got the Tigers at Belmore. So, tough start for the Dogs, but they're definitely going to miss Luke Thompson badly. They're going to miss him big. Bigger than we all think, I'm telling you. All right. Yeah. Now, let's move on to something that's going to be a lot of fun. Topic number 1, fellas. 3 bold calls for the 2023 NRL season. We are officially 24 hours and 13 minutes away from kickoff until the season starts tomorrow night. I cannot fucking wait. I want 3 bold calls to start the year. And what we're going to do is, instead of you guys giving me 3 at a time, we're going to go 1 at a time. So, CJ, what's your first bold call for the season?
My first bold call, it's going to sound biased. I think the Sydney Roosters will miss the top 4. Yeah, look, I don't give a fuck about them, but I just think when Luke Keary goes down, if he goes down, I should say, Joseph Manu as a 5'8", I don't know if you can do that week in, week out. Brandon Smith is definitely a top signing. I'm not going to deny that. But he's not going to play 80 minutes. And who comes on for him? Jake Turpin. I'm not really too sold on that. Unfortunately, Fortunately, I do see the Roosters missing the top 4. It wouldn't shock me if they made it. But look, I'm not gonna buy into it. That's my bold call.
Okay. ProEnzo, 1 bold call from you.
I reckon Isaiah Katoa from the Dolphins will be Rookie of the Year in 2023. I think him debuting this weekend special, so I'm expecting him to keep Milford out and continue his good form going forward.
Interesting. Ados the Great, 1 bold call, bro.
I'm going to piss Panthers fans off with this one. I'm going to say Panthers win the minor premiership and then get knocked out in straight sets.
Oh!
Wow.
Holy fuck.
You got to think about it. Like, in those big games, losing kick out and chorus out is going to hurt the Panthers. I honestly believe that.
That's big. All right. My first bold call for the season. ProEnzo's going to love this one. Ruben Garrick will make his New South Wales State of Origin debut on the wing this year.
Ooh, hope so.
I can see it.
All right, CJ, your second bold prediction.
Oh, okay. My second bold prediction is the Dragons lose their first 9. I don't know if it's a big bold prediction, but I have a feeling the Dragons are going to have the run from hell, and they're not going to win a game till probably Magic round. By then, Anthony Griffin's gone. Dragons will lose at least their first 5, I reckon, but I'm going to go 9 because they're a fucking rabble. They're like 2016 Knights rabble.
Oh, poor Dragons. ProEnzo?
I mean, it's not, I don't know if it's bold, but it probably is with the hype he's getting. But I think Callum Ponga's going to fail at 5'8", and I think he'll move away from that role, and they'll try and play him back at fullback. But it's going to create confusion with Lachlan Miller and all the other backs who signed. I think it's going to be a bit of an overload, and I think this 5'8" move is going to prove like a failure that was in 2019, and I think it might ruin Ponga's year. So I think it'll fail personally.
Wow. Adolf the Great, your second prediction.
I've got Jermaine Hopgood making his State of Origin debut.
Ooh, good one.
That's big. That's big. My second prediction for the 2023 NRL season, Cameron Ciraldo will be the coach of the year.
Wow. All right.
I think if the Bulldogs make the top 8, there might be an argument for Ciraldo for coach of the year.
Yeah,
So
he'll
I'm
definitely
backing it in. I'm backing it in. All right, CJ, your third and final bold prediction.
Yep. So I'm probably going to get my head torn off by Canterbury fans here. I don't think they just missed the 8. I think they're going to do a repeat of the Broncos of 2022. I think they're going to be in the top 8 with 4 weeks to go and drop out.
Oh no.
I think the Bulldogs are going to have a collapse towards the end of the season. Miss the 8 in heartbreaking circumstances.
Oh, my God. That's poor
Exact
fucking
repeat of
supporters.
what the Broncos did last year.
Mate, there'll be riots in Belmore. There'll be innocent people getting attacked. That'll be horrible for them.
Oh, no.
God, I hope that doesn't happen. It'd be a horrible place. You wouldn't want to go to Belmore. God. ProEnzo, your third and final bold prediction.
Now this will be sad when it happens because he's been good ever since he's come back to Origin level. So it would be a bit disappointing if it did happen, but I have a feeling it might. I reckon DC will retire from Origin at the end of the year. I think he might make a representative retirement, like Cameron Smith did and others did a couple of years ago. I think you'll understand that there's Tom Dearden, there's Sam Walker all coming up, and they're not ready yet, obviously. So that's why DC is the best option going forward for this year. But I think with them coming up, he'll retire from Origin.
Adolf the Great, your final prediction.
I had to throw a Rabbitohs one in there. I reckon either Keon Kalamatangi or Campbell Graham make their Origin debuts.
Yes,
My third and final prediction is a bit of a negative one, so I do apologize for going down the negative path for this one. But I honestly feel like this is going to happen. And look, I hope I'm wrong about this, but I just can't deny the feeling about this. Kieran Foran will retire by mid-season.
Whoa.
Due to injury.
Fuck.
Really? I'm so concerned about it. I'm telling you, every time Kieran Foran has left Manly and gone to a club like the Warriors, the Eels, the Bulldogs, he's just had injury after injury. It's like a curse. I'm telling you. Every time he leaves, the first time he left Manly, injuries everywhere. And he's going to a club that has never had any success. He's going to a club that are going to rely heavily on him. And we all know Foran's injury history is really, really ordinary. One major injury to his shoulder, he's done. He's done. I think he's already had 2 or 3 reconstructions on his shoulder. So, and his knees as well. He can't run for his life. See, this is why he should be playing halfback, not 5'8". He should be controlling the side, not running with the ball. Let Tanner Boyd do that shit. But I don't know. I can't stand the Titans, and I reckon they'll come last this year. But Foran, I think he's gone before the end of the year. I really do. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, hope doesn't happen.
I hope I'm wrong because I'm a Foran fan. I've always rated him as a player, except for the handle Foran back in the 2012 semi-final. But besides that, I've never hated Foran. I've always been a big fan. But I'm just concerned. I really am.
That'd be great. Hope not.
Oh, mate, I'd be upset. I'd be disappointed. But anyway, we're going to move on to the Breakdown Podcast game show. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be very interesting. ProEnzo, CJ, and Ados all going to participate. Now,
Let's go.
as everyone in the live chat would be well aware of, I asked these gentlemen 3 questions. First one to get 3 questions right wins. If anybody in the live chat reveals answers, if they spoil it, they'll be banned for 5 minutes. And if they keep doing it, they'll be blocked. So we can't be having spoilers, answers in the live chat. We just can't be having that. That's just not fair on the contestants. Boys, good luck.
Let's go. Let's do this. Bring it on.
Before we get into it, we're going to have a look at the odds via NickBet. ProEnzo is the $3 favourite. CJ Moxley, you are at $5, and Ados the Greats at juicy odds, $8. Good value for Ados the Great.
I think it's
Great
fair.
value there via NickBet. Thank you to NickBet for those incredible odds. So this week, boys, we're going to make it a little bit different. So, because there's 3 of you, and it's going to be very hard. I'm going to ask a question. Just shout the answer out. Just shout it out.
All
If
right.
it's the same time or if it's too close to call, then I'll make the judgment. I'll make the judgment if it's a tie. All right. Hands. All right. So 0-0. First one to get right is the winner. And I just when I ask the question, just shout out the answer. All right. You ready?
Ready.
Yep.
All right. Let's go. First question. In the West Tigers versus Gold Coast Titans game this weekend, what was the last scoreline between these two sides?
8-6.
Who?
Titans.
Correct.
Oh, yes.
CJ with the start.
It was a nightmare
1-0.
game, I remember. Very shit
Oh,
game.
fuck. This computer, mate. I'm telling you, it's very slow. CJ is off to a good start. 1-0. Probably wasn't the greatest question to begin with, to be fair. We'll go to something a bit harder. All right. Next question. In round 3 of the 2023 NRL season, who do the Broncos play on a Saturday night?
Raiders.
Incorrect.
The Bulldogs.
Incorrect.
Dragons.
CJ Moxley, correct. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, Moxley. Go
Where's the
easy
pink
on him,
radar,
you
bro?
cheater.
Yeah, bro.
Didn't Brisbane.
Oh, okay. I was going to say Wollongong.
Unbelievable.
Luckily, I got that right, I guess. But yeah, I'll see if I
Hang
said
on. Computer's
bro, I thought it was
playing
in
up.
Wollongong.
There we go. 2-0 for Moxley. Jesus Christ. Them odds were juicy. All right. Next game. In round 6 of the 2023 NRL season, who do the Newcastle Knights play that weekend?
The Dolphins.
Incorrect.
Raiders.
Incorrect.
Cowboys?
Incorrect.
Dragons.
Incorrect.
The Eels.
Incorrect.
Knights.
Storm.
Incorrect.
Titans?
Incorrect. Come on,
The
someone will
Warriors.
get it surely. What's that?
Warriors.
Correct.
Hey,
Hey, Adolf
someone had to get it.
Someone had to get the Warriors, surely. There we go.
My time, yeah.
I was about to say Raiders next. So
Bro, Enzo, you're on 0, bro. What's going on? Surely
It's
it'll
not
come
been my
back.
night, has it? Not my night.
Not
You get
been
one
your
next-
night. All right. Ladies and all right, next question. Next
Next
question.
one.
All right. In round 7 of the 2023 NRL season, who did the New Zealand Warriors play that weekend?
Round 7.
Storm.
Incorrect.
Titans.
Incorrect.
The
Dragons.
Dolphins.
Dolphins is incorrect.
Dragons.
Incorrect.
Oh, Warriors.
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs is incorrect.
Tigers.
Incorrect.
Manly.
Mariners.
Both incorrect.
Is it the fucking Cowboys?
Raiders.
Correct.
Wait, who?
CJ's the winner.
Oh,
Fuck.
Raiders. Oh, good game, boys.
Unbelievable.
Good
That
game.
was
The
embarrassing.
only shocking thing about it is Lorenzo did not get one single point.
I kept guessing because I thought I'd get at least one, but no. I didn't. there we go.
It is what it is, bro. But I can't win them all. Can't win them all. All right. Well done, CJ, with a win. I'm glad Ados got a point on the board. Great to see. All right. Let's get into the final part of the show. Something that I have missed since last year. The round one preview. Let's just go through some tips and predictions. So what we're going to do, we'll go through each game, and all I want you to do is tell me who wins. Give us a 1 to 12 or a 13 plus margin for the game. All right, let's get into it. Round one of the 2023 NRL season kicks off tomorrow night in exactly 24 hours from now. Season opener at CommBank Stadium. Supremacy Eels up against the Melbourne Storm. Ados the Great, who do you like in this one?
I'm back in the Eels, 1 to 12.
Oh, ProEnzo Vidz.
I've got the Storm 1 to 12.
CJ.
Yeah, I said it yesterday. I think the Eels are going to break the Storm's buck. Eels 1 to 12.
I'm going to go Melbourne 1 to 12, but I think it's a real toss of the coin game. So we've got 2 Eels and 2 Storm for that one. Not bad. All right, Friday night footy, 6 o'clock over at Sky Stadium. I believe it's in Wellington. The New Zealand Warriors up against the Newcastle Knights Ados.
I'm going Warriors to win this one 1 to 12.
Yep. ProEnzo?
Warriors 1 to 12.
CJ?
Yeah, Warriors 13 plus. I think I'll get a good win.
I'm going Newcastle Knights 1 to 12. And I want to also declare the Newcastle Knights are my specials of the weekend. They will win. 1 to 12.
Wow.
$2.40 is a great value too. I'll be on that. The other game on Friday night at 8 o'clock out at Penrith Stadium. The back-to-back champions, the Panthers, up against the Broncos Ados.
Oh, mate, it's got to be the Broncos, doesn't it? 13 plus, easy win. No, definitely not. Panthers will kill them. I reckon it'll be one of the only games, or one of 2 games that go a team scoring over 40. I think the Panthers are absolutely going to kill them.
Yeah. ProEnzo?
I'm actually expecting a tie contest. I'll go Panthers 1 to 12.
Yeah. CJ?
Yeah, I said it yesterday. I think the Panthers will win 1 to 12 as well.
I think there's 2 certainties this weekend, and I think this is one of them. Panthers, 30 plus, and it's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be a bloodbath.
Oh.
All right, let's go to Super Saturday. I'm telling you, Super Saturday is probably the best day for rugby league, man. This round one Super Saturday fixture is amazing. I love it. Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock, Brookvale Oval, Manly versus the Bulldogs. ProEnzo, we'll start with you. 1, you're a Manly supporter. 2, and you're going to this game.
Yeah. So, look, I'm there, and I hope it's a win. So, I mean, we don't often win in round 1, but that's why I think we're going to win, and I think I'll back us, obviously, 1 to 12. So, look, I hope it's a win.
Ados the Great, who do you like here?
I think this is going to be a cracker of a game, to be honest, but I'm going Manly 1 to 12. Probably on the higher end, I think, around that 10-point winning margin, but definitely Manly 1 to 12.
CJ?
Yeah, I think this will be close. Being at Brookie, I'm going to go Manly 1 to 12 as well. I think Manly get the job done.
I was this close to tipping the Bulldogs. I'm telling you, I was this close to doing it. I think the Bulldogs are going to have a better year than Manly personally, but we'll see. If this game was anywhere but Brookie, I might have went Canterbury. But I'm going to go Manly 1 to 12. The Tommy Turbo factor, I think, is what gets me over the line. Manly 1 to 12 should be a great game. All right, Saturday night, the 5:30 game up at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. My boys, the North Queensland Cowboys, up against the Canberra Raiders. Ados the Great, who do you like here in Townsville?
Mate, it's supposed to be like 31 degrees up there, and the humidity is horrible. So I reckon Raiders get flogged. Cowboys 13 plus.
You're a great man for saying that. I really appreciate it. ProEnzo?
I'm actually expecting this to be a bit tighter than we all think. If you watch my tipping video, then you'd see what I said. I said this game will be 1-8, so I'm going somewhere a bit different here. And I think Cowboys win that in Townsville. They should get it.
Yeah. CJ?
Yeah, I think Cowboys 13 plus. I think it'll be a small 13 plus margin, but they'll get it done. 13 plus Cowboys.
Yeah, look, I don't want to sound like an arrogant supporter, but the Raiders don't even have a goddamn fullback, man. They got Sebastian Chris playing fullback. That says a lot with how Canberra are going into this game. I'm going the Cowboys 13 plus. Probably like an 18 to 16 point margin. Not that big of a margin. Probably like a 28-12 sort of win. Cowboys to win 13 plus.
I think with the Cowboys, I think it's going to be a close game up until about the 55-minute mark. And honestly, I think the Heat's just going to get to the Raiders and the Cowboys will run away with it.
The Cowboys' second halves last year were the best in the comps, so that does make sense, to be fair. All right, the other big one of the weekend, probably the game of the round, along with the Manly Dogs game. This is a cracker. Saturday night, 7:35 from Shark Park. Cronulla Sutherland Sharks versus South Sydney Rabbitohs. Ados the Great, your boys, the Bunnies, can they win?
Mate, we are winning 13 plus, easy W for the Rabbitohs. No Nico Hines, no Royce Hunt. Man, we're running over him. Honestly, I really believe Rabbitohs 13 plus with ease.
Wow, 13 plus, fuck. Interesting call. ProEnzo?
Yeah, I know Hines is out. It's a big blow, but I'm still thinking he'll go down to the wire. I think both teams will turn up for it either way. But I'll tip South to win by a field goal for Electron Mitchell.
Ooh. Yeah.
CJ, now you're attending this game, right?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah. South by 10.
Yeah, look, if Nico Hines was playing and Royce Hunt were playing, I might have went Cronulla at home. I might have led towards them in a game, but I think Souths have got the goods here. Sharks are a bit weak. I think Souths win. Souths by 8, 1-12. It'll be a close game, I reckon. It'll be a really tight game. All right, let's move on to Sunday and probably the biggest TV attraction of the whole weekend and maybe the whole season. The new boys on the block, the Dolphins, up against the Roosters Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock at Suncorp Stadium. CJ, Dolphins, Roosters, who do you like here?
Oh, fuck me. Yeah, look, Roosters 13 plus. I think just the experience will get them. Yeah, I'll be cheering on the Dolphins, though. Come on, Wayne and the Dolphins.
Ados, mate, can the Dolphins upset them?
I tell you what, if the Dolphins beat the Roosters, I will buy a Dolphins jersey. I'll put that out there right now. If they beat the Roosters, that's how confident I am in the Dolphins losing this game. I think it'll be Roosters 13 plus, and that really hurts me to say.
Yeah. ProEnzo?
Yeah, Roosters 13 plus. Should be too good.
A bit like the Penrith game. If there's one certainty for round one, I think this is the second certainty of the weekend. Penrith are morals. Roosters are king morals. Roosters win. I reckon they win by 30-odd as well. I would love to see the Dolphins win, but
Please do.
they're going to get destroyed. They're going to get dolphinized. Something's going to happen to them. They're going to get destroyed. All right, and the final game of round one, Sunday, 6:15. Leichhardt Oval was the venue down there in Sydney. The West Tigers up against the Gold Coast Titans. Before I get to it, let me just say, out of all the NRL teams in the NRL that travel to Sydney, the Gold Coast have the worst record in New South Wales. So going to be interesting to see how the Gold Coast go down there. But in the Gold Coast defence, the one venue in Sydney they go all right at is Leichhardt. I think they've won 3 of their 4 games they've played at Leichhardt in the history. So they usually go okay down at Leichhardt, but everywhere else they're horrible. But CJ, West Tigers and the Gold Coast, who do you like?
Yeah, look, a packed Leichhardt Stadium. I'm going to go Tigers, but Tigers 1-12.
Yeah. ProEnzo?
Yeah, I'll back Tigers in a tight one. Tigers 1-12.
Yeah. Ados the Great?
Yeah, look, I think Tigers win this one 1-12, but I would not be surprised if the Titans got up. I think this one's going to be a really close game. I reckon 2 to 4 points in this one. I don't think it'll be by much.
I think this game will be very high scoring. I think defense for both sides is going to be something that they'll need to improve on. I'm going to go the West Tigers, 13 plus. I think the light card oval effect, I think getting everyone back on board, the new recruits, I think it's going to work in the first game. So West Tigers to win, 13 plus. And the Dragons have the bye. Will they win that one?
They'll lose.
I'm not to buy by 13 plus. They'll just get it done.
I think the Dragons win by a field goal against the bye. Maybe a Zach Lomax field goal on the bell. I don't know. They're guaranteed 2 points, so maybe it'll be a 1 point win for them. All right. Well, fellas, we've just hit the 1 hour mark on the podcast. It's been a fantastic show. I want to thank Ados the Great for coming on the podcast, coming on the YouTube channel for the very first time. Ados the Great, on behalf of the podcast, thank you for coming on tonight, bro. I really appreciate your time.
No worries, guys. All good.
It's been great to have you on, and we'll definitely have to get you back on in the near future for sure.
Man. Just let me know. I'm happy to do whatever.
No worries. Well, thank you very much, ProEnzo and CJ. Thanks for another good show, boys.
Yeah, no
Thanks,
worries.
bro.
Great show.
Bring on the footy, eh?
Sounds good. Well, I think the word food and dinner is calling my name, so I'm not going to go and have something to eat. Thank you to the live chat. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a great show. Everyone, have a fantastic night. And we're officially 24 hours away from the NRL season getting underway. So anyway, guys, until then, have a good one. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night for the Eels versus Storm live reaction, live stream, whatever you want to call it. And then obviously the Thursday night football review. And I'll be joined by TJC Sports. He's going to be at the Eels Storm game from CommBank. So we're going to get him on for the live review from the stadium. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Go subscribe to ProEnzo, CJ, and Ados the Great. Their YouTube channels are in the description box below. Anyway, guys, till then, have a good night.